right, on a tough day, we're going to talk some politics. Miranda Devine, Ace New York Post columnist, Fox News contributor, and Rich Lowry, National Review editor-in-chief. Welcome to both of you. Miranda, I know you're not there anymore, but shame on Australia. Shame on this Australian prime minister. I called him the head of a left-wing cabal. That's the way I see it. Coddling anti-Semitism.
You're absolutely right. Larry, honestly, it's sad to see it happen. And we've had now 2 years of just appeasing, coddling Jew hatred. You know, anti-Semitism is Jew hatred. And these were the victims of October 7, 2023. And the cruelty, I mean, at the Opera House, there were a bunch of mourners the day after October 7 in 2023 gathered to grieve. And they were invaded by a group of haters calling out, gas the Jews, F the Jews, you know, globalize the Intifada. And we saw what that meant. After 2 years of appeasing them, sucking up to them for base political reasons. It's just like in Minnesota or in Michigan, you know, there's a block of Muslim votes that the Labor Party, which is equivalent of Democrats here, just need to coddle and appease to make sure that they keep those voters. Not
this is what you get.
This is what you get.
I believe that. This is what you get. What happened in Bondi, and it's happened in other awful. Just what you get, Rich. I mean, you just have to link the two.
Yeah. Now, this is a real key point, right? Because the pro-Hamas protest didn't start in reaction to the war against them in Gaza. They started right after October 7th. They were unleashed by this horrible pogrom. And look, we need to think about Muslim immigration, right? Because 1981, something like 41,000 Muslims in Australia. Now they're more than 800,000, right? And not all Muslims are bad, obviously. Many of them good, law-abiding folks. But the more you have, the more likely you're going to have this fringe that are haters. Like if there are Unitarian immigrants coming into a country, and some significant block of them were going to hate traditional Christians, harass them in the street, vandalize their businesses, and maybe occasionally massacre them in cold blood, we'd say, maybe we need to think about Unitarian immigration, right? More ideological tests, maybe fewer numbers. We need to do that on Muslim immigration too, but European and English-speaking countries just have been incapable of it.
Except Trump. Trump has just gone right after DEI and right after anti-Semitism. By the way, I mean, I'm going to link again this fraud and the Somali group in Minnesota, which now apparently some people are spreading to Ohio, even more fraud. I mean, yeah, why'd we let him in the first place? Who did the vetting? Well, wait a second, it was Biden. Biden didn't do any vetting. He just let them in, didn't he?
He just let them in. And before that, I mean, I think that the refugee programs, which America and Australia are the most generous per capita in the world, and with all the right intentions, you want to help people in war-torn countries, but often you're not getting their best. You know, not getting the women and children and the victims. You're getting the military-aged men, like the guy who allegedly shot dead one of the National Guard and severely injured the other one. You know, if you're not doing proper vetting of refugees as well as everyone else, then you're just setting yourself up for disaster.
It's a key contrast, right, between Trump and this Australian PM, because the Australian PM doesn't talk about immigration. He talks about gun control in a country that already has incredibly strict gun control, and Trump goes to the root of the problem.
And Trump goes to the DEI root of the problem. I just want to add that Brown was, I don't know what the motive of the killer in Brown is. It's a horrible, heinous thing. But the fact is, all these elite schools, Brown, Columbia, Harvard, you name it, Penn, they were practicing DEI, which I have regarded as this long discussion during the Biden years, thankfully gone. DEI was the progenitor of coddling anti-Semitism. I'm sorry, they were.
Yes.
The Middle East studies, what was that all about? That was anti-Semitism. Now, Trump's basically putting an end to that by taking their federal funds away, so they're changing. So he is different.
Yeah, so the root of all this, the DEI, the anti-Semitism, it's a hatred at bottom of our own society and Western civilization. That is the root of all of it.
Miranda, can't beat it. What's almost, you can't beat that. That's right.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Absolutely
But
true.
you have to take action. Leaders are supposed to take action. Leaders set tones. You know what I mean? Biden set a tone of permissiveness. He didn't care, and look what happened.
And weakness and cowardice.
That's
and
right.
that's the
And
one thing
is
Trump doesn't do.
That's right. He's the exact opposite. This guy in Australia, Netanyahu called him weak, said
Pandering.
Yes. I mean, you can't, it's true, right? I mean, you can't get around that.
No. And look, he's been relatively popular, even though he's a lefty, because he's sort of a man of the people, and he hasn't really had much to worry about. And I think now Australians are just looking at him askance. They blame him.
Good. Deserves the blame. Miranda Devine, Rich Lowry, thanks to both of you.